Hello guys, today I will be completing the tutorial series on lighting system design. But before I proceed, I did like to take some form of assessment to understand today's lesson better. 1. What are the considerations in all lighting system design? 2. What are the types of lighting schemes? What are the types of lighting schemes? And the third, what are the analysis tools in lighting system design? If you get it all right, congratulations. Now you can proceed. But if not, please click on the pop links. It will have impact on today's class. Yeah, I will be completing the two other parts of lighting system, which is the step in designing lighting system and lighting design content. But to have a flow, we are treating the last section first, then come back to the first so as to review it back. Afterwards, you are now a lighting system designer. Thank you. Lighting design content. These are the 6 references in a lighting design project. The first one is the reference drawing. Reference drawing. Here is an office complex project. As an engineer, we must have a reference project, which is the architectural project. Here is the folder arc. So this is the arc project. So we are using the 2D AutoCAD because it's the simplest and the easiest software for an MEP engineer. So here is the reference project. Here is it. This is the elevations. These are the floor plans. Roof plan here. This is the ground floor plan, and this is the second floor plan. So here is also the 3D for the project. Here are the first one, second one, and the third one. The first content in a lighting design project is the reference drawing. So after you've gotten your reference drawing, the second one is the general instruction. So before you start any project as an engineer, you have to provide your own personal instructions. These are some basic instructions. 1, it says normal lighting should be separated from emergency lighting circuit. 2, normal circuit and emergency lighting circuit be fed from one phase or 3-phase circuit. So these are some basic instructions or general notes. These are also street lighting, flood lighting, high mast lighting should be fed from the 3-phase circuit. Normally, lighting circuit breakers rating is 10 amps. 10 amps. It's 10 amps for one phase and 3-phase circuit. Don't load the breakers with more than 80% of its rating. So before you start a project, you have to provide your own instruction as an engineer. That's Control C. I move to my project. I'm designing somewhere inside my workspace. I'll put the reference Control clipboard paste Control V. So I'm pasting my general instruction. I will later put these on my layout. I still have some other instructions that I do use. Here is an example. Lighting circuit shall be wired using, so I specified the wiring system, 1.5 mm square PVC cable, and be protected in a circuit with a 10 amp MCB circuit breaker, miniature circuit breakers. For every project, there must be an instruction for the lighting system design. Legend simply means the key to the project. So all projects must have legend, most especially in all these 2D cards designs, because we are working with lines, we are using line representation for project design. So we have different forms of legend, but a lighting design project must have its own personal legend. For example, now this is my office project. Here is the legend. So I said legend, electrical lighting. Here are my fixtures, which are named symbols, and here are their descriptions. A proper legend must have the symbols, which will be shown in the design, and the description. For this project, I have this legend, which is rectangular, fully arched, and I said it's a 2000 to 2300 lumens LED. So I specify it being a batten light fittings. Can you record a batten light fittings with PIR sensor? PIR sensor is simply a presence detector sensors using a passive infrared technology. Another symbol in the legend is this one, which is partly arched. It's almost of the similar fixtures, just that it's not having a PIR sensor. So these are a legend looks like. I still have this one, which is for round surface fittings. I have a recessed spotlight too. I have another symbol here too. This is my chandelier symbol. This is my pendant chandelier symbols. This is my linear lighting symbols, and this is a wall sconce. So this is how a lighting system project must be. Any project too, lighting or not lighting, any MEP project must have its own dedicated legend. The next content in any project is the design layout. So design layout simply means the project you've designed. So this is how an electrical lighting system design project looks like. I've already designed this one. So I'll be having my fixtures, I'll be having my switch, so and I'll be having my cables or my connections. Another thing I'll be having is the panel identificator. This actually speaks how it will be arranged in my panel and load estimation system. This is how lighting design project looks like. So for this project, here is my lighting design layout for the ground floor. Here is the one for the upper floor, which is the first floor. So these are a lighting design project looks like. Panel identification. What simply means is that after I've designed my lighting systems, I will have to identify my panels. So we do identify panels with codes, with electrical codes. For example, this is my project here. I use an alpha numerical codes. So I call this one L1, I called this one M2. Basically, we only identify the switches because it is the switches that will be connected to the power source. So for example, in this my boardroom, I identify all my lighting fixtures here as to be M2. All my lighting fixtures here to be M2. So in every lighting system design, all fixtures must have a reference panel identification number. So this is how the panel looks like in this my project, which is my panel I named DBGA. It's actually a three-way TP and N distribution board with 25 amps main isolator. I only have a single circuit here, for my lighting system. So a single circuit here for my lighting systems. I used 1.5 mm PVC cables for the wiring. So that's the main reason why this place was stripped. And the last in the lighting design content is my installation details. So So every project must have some basic details to show that this is how the system will look like. These are the fixtures I stated in my legend, but we are working with in 2Ds. I have to show some installation details to show that this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to express in the project, this is what I'm trying to insinuate in the design legends. So these are the fixtures I specified. For my PIR fittings, these were my legend for the wiring or the connection line. So these are how the connection lines supposed to be from the switch to my fittings, likewise from my PIR sensor to my fittings. So different projects require different kind of installation details. You get to know that one too. Now we can now proceed to the second to the last headings, which is the step in designing lighting system. Steps in designing lighting system. The first step in designing a lighting system is to identify the requirements. You identify the basic requirement. As an engineer, I said we work with standards and codes. It may be different in one part of the world to another, but we have different standards we do use in engineering lighting system design. For example, the National Optical Astronomy Observatory in the US standards basically state for different areas in the building. For example, a public areas with dark surroundings 20 to 50, a simple orientation for short visits 50 to 100, what's this, supermarkets, all these commercial centers, in general 750 lumens. Wow. Another requirement, as I've said in our former classes, is the consideration in any lighting system design. What did I consider before I started this my design project? So the consideration, we'll be talking about the artistical appeal, whereby is mainly the beauty. For example, now in this my ground floor project, because it's mainly office and most are for general or officials, I did not use a chandelier fittings other than the room space here. But the same office we are having at the downstairs at the ground floor is what we are having at the first floor. But being the first floor is for managerial bodies, so I started putting chandelier in the offices. That's basically to increase my artistical feelings. So another consideration that comes in is the economics. Economics basically means the cost factor. This project, as a case study again, in my legend I specified lightings of the same illumination levels but different fittings. The fittings with PIR sensor will be more expensive. This is how we do consider the economics. So it's an economical measure just to reduce the price. The next step in designing a lighting system is to determine the lighting methods. So for this project, I majorly used three lighting schemes. Basically, the method I used to size my fixtures here is another method that's not generally acceptable but is professionally acceptable, is the room space method. You can just check the product line of different companies. Since you've gotten the flux required for the project, you can check the product line of any companies to specify your equipment correctly. The next step is to calculate the equipment to standards. As I said, I used a room space method to design this project. So for this my office now, I'm having a 4,000 lumen fittings because this one is 2200 to 2200. So I'm having two. There are some places I have only just a single fixtures. For a lighting system design, we'll be designing for two things. We'll be designing for the lighting fixtures and we'll be designing for the control system. Control system simply means the switches. So we have different kind of switches, we have different forms of switches. You start placing your lighting fixtures based on the requirements you've identified. For this offices, I placed two lighting fixtures and I placed just a single switch to control the two. So where to place the switch, majorly the entrance. So we have basic considerations to all this, which we will explain when we start thorough designing. So after I've placed my fixture and my switch, I start connecting them. So that's why I use these red wires to connect them. So after I did that, I identify my panels. This is just what lighting system design entails.